Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to another live stream. So what we're doing today is we're choosing the winner of the essay correction competition that I posted last week. So I posted a question, some students responded with a full essay. We'll choose one of those students at random, give them a full essay correction, correct all the vocab, all the grammar, talk about the structure, the content, the response to the question, and then of course give them scores for each band score. So task achievement, coherence and cohesion, vocab, grammar, and then we'll calculate the overall score based on that. Hey Ush, good to see you here. I saw you submitted an essay as well. I have your name on the list. Hi Nayan, good to see you back here. If you did not submit an essay for correction, you can still get feedback from me. I have another competition. I'll show you another question at the end of this lesson, and you can enter the competition for next week. I also have a Task 2 live stream tomorrow. I have a Task 2 live feedback lesson on Zoom on Friday, and I have one-on-one essay correction service as well. So if you want to join in the lesson on Zoom on Friday, or you want to use the one-on-one service, let me just share the link with you here. So that's the link. You can click on that and access either of them. Hi Nana, good to see you here again. I don't believe you entered the competition, Nana, if I remember correctly. Okay, so with that, let's choose the winner and get started. So I have all the names loaded up here. If you enter the competition, you should see your name in this panel here on the left. All right, and let's find our winner. Okay. And the winner is Amruta Sangani. Amruta. Okay. Well done, Amruta. And I just need a moment to find Amruta's essay and paste it in, and then we'll get started. So if you are joining me live, or if you're watching the recording, please do feel free to ask any questions you have. As I'm correcting the essay, I'll come back in and out and I'll see what questions or what comments you have for me. So do get involved and ask any questions you have. I'll be able to respond to those as we're going through the essay. So I have this ready now. Let's just see if we have any questions here first before we get started. Hi, Ted. Good to see you here. Okay, so as I said, you ask any questions you have, but let's get started on Amruta's essay here. So this was the question. Many people around the world spend the majority of their free time at home watching TV shows. So the first thing I want from Amruta is a paraphrase of this question statement with no changes. As in, we want to change the vocabulary, we want to change the wording, but we don't want to change the meaning. So no changes to the meaning is what I meant. So all over the world, that's fine. There are many, you don't need a comma here. There are many who spent most of their extra time watching television programs at home. Okay, this is done well. You don't need a comma because it's defining, and here it shouldn't be in the past. So changing a present to a past tense isn't a paraphrase. You're not changing the wording, you're just changing the tense. So now you're saying it's something that doesn't happen anymore. So that's inaccurate. That should be spend. But the meaning is the same, and that's the most important aspect. next, the question, what are the advantages and disadvantages of this situation? Okay, so it says advantages, so that's plural. It says disadvantages, that's plural. So what I want from Amrutta now is an outline statement that has 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages of doing this. Okay, so the benefits of this are that one can keep oneself updated and learn a language. The drawbacks, however, are that it makes people lazy and can lead to obesity. Okay, so these are specific. The 4 of them are specific. So we have 4 ideas. That's what I wanted. And they're all specific. But the problem is I'm not sure if they're relevant. Now, the question isn't about the benefits or the advantages of watching TV. It's the advantages of doing this with the majority of your free time. So you have to be very, very, very careful with what the question is asked and respond specifically to that. So the question isn't what are the advantages and disadvantages of watching TV? The question is what are the advantages and disadvantages of spending most of your time watching TV? And that's a different thing. It can lead to obesity. That's definitely relevant. It makes people lazy. That seems relevant, but we'll see what happens. But these 2 are the ones I'm concerned about. You can keep that one can keep oneself updated. So, but do I need to spend the majority of my free time to stay updated, or can I just watch TV for like an hour and then do something else with the rest of my free time? So is it necessary for me to spend the majority of my free time to stay updated and to learn a language? So at the moment, it seems like these are not related to the specific question asked, but we'll see what happens in the body paragraphs. So that's kind of my take on what we've seen so far. Let's see if we have any questions here. Jervin, hi there. Welcome to the lesson. Vic, hello to you. Watching from the Philippines. Very good. I have a lot of Filipino students joining me here. Najnin, sir, please check my writing. My exam is knocking at the door. It's really essential to check my writing. Okay, so Najin entered the competition and Najin didn't win. So Najin, I'm not going to, I understand that you need your writing checked, but I have a lot of ways for you to get your writing checked as well. So I have a live feedback, I have a live stream tomorrow for writing task 2, so I can help you there. I have a live feedback lesson on Zoom on Friday, so I can help you there. And I have a one-on-one service, so I can help you there. So you'll see the link that I already shared at the start of the lesson. You can find those. The thing is, Najnin, am I going to choose you and not choose the other students who didn't win the competition? And that's not fair. There were another, I didn't count, but about another 10 students or so. So, I don't have time to check everyone's, and I'm not going to single out you and ignore the others because that's not fair. So I understand you want feedback. It sounds like you're disappointed that you didn't win. But I do have other ways to give you feedback besides this competition. So do get involved in those other ways. But I'm not going to check this specific essay for that reason. Hey, Marvik, good to see you here. Can I share my ideas for the advantages part? Again, Ayush, just for the same reason as Najnin, I'm going to focus just on Amrutta's answer in this live stream. Vic, watching your session live and replay gives clarity on how to answer the questions on point. Good. And as well, these live streams are to give feedback. So all my live streams are based on giving feedback, but I have lessons on how to actually write a task 2 essay. So it's like these live streams will help fine tune your understanding. But if you're starting from the start, you should complete all those lessons. Let me share those with you as well. So I'll just share for you here, Vic. And it's those links here called Complete Task 2 Guide. So if you've completed those already, definitely these live streams will help you. But if you're hoping to discover everything by the mistakes Amrutta makes, there might be things that you don't know. So I'd recommend you complete those as well. Musumi, what is the procedure to win the competition? So I posted the question on Sunday on YouTube and on Facebook. I'll also show you the question for next Wednesday at the end of this video, at the end of this live stream. So I'll share the next question, and then you just answer that, share your answer with me, and we'll choose another winner next week. Could you please paraphrase for us? Amrutta has done a very good job of paraphrasing. So we'll just base it on that. Should be enough. It must be give conclusion in essay. You have to have a conclusion in task 2. Yeah. The winner for speaking, no, but I was actually going to do that at the end of this video as well. I'd like to do it live because everyone can see that I'm not picking favorites, or that I'm being completely fair. So I'm actually going to do that at the end of this video as well. Thanks, Kulwant. Okay, so back to the essay. Now, what we have in this question type, because we need 4 main ideas, the way I want this organized is to have one body paragraph. So it should be the first body paragraph will be about the advantages, and both of the advantages mentioned will be there. And only these 2. We don't want to discuss any other advantages, just the ones that were mentioned in the introduction. Then with the disadvantages, we'll have another body paragraph for that. So let's just see. So there are 2 body paragraphs. So it seems like Amrutta has organized it the way I like. And 305 words. So small bit long, but not ridiculous, especially when there are 4 main ideas. It tends to get a little bit longer. So 305 words is fine. Okay. So one of the key advantages of watching television shows is that one can be updated with all new things, with all the new things happening in their local area. So we're talking about a person, and now you're talking about the reader. So you cannot change the focus. You have to stay focusing on what you said you'd focus on. So one is an unidentified gender. So it might be a male, it might be female. So we're going to have to say there in this case, in their local area and throughout the nation and the world. So this is what I had feared. This is what I was concerned about when I saw the main idea earlier, was that it's just talking about watching television, not talking about spending all of your time watching television. So far, we can see that Amrutta knows the structure, knows how to lay out the answer, has a good level of English, can communicate clearly, but has not analyzed the question carefully enough, or at least has not referred back to the question with the main ideas to check if they are relevant. So that part of the process where you generate your ideas and you see, is it actually relevant to the question, is essential. And at the moment, these main ideas are irrelevant, and for that reason will not help with the task achievement score. So this is not looking good. It's potentially a band 5 for task achievement at the moment, but we'll see, that they might be able to recover a little bit of that score. But it's not completely clear if they will or won't yet. So many news channels are available to watch that provide information about crime reports, weather forecasts, sport news, etc. So many. This is more of what we would say in speaking. It's a little bit informal, so it'd be better to say there are many here available to watch that provide information about crime. So you don't provide information about crime reports. You provide information about crime, or provide crime reports. So the information and the reports, those don't collocate together. So that's a vocab mistake. Weather forecasts. sports news, best actually just delete the word information and then everything else is accurate. Okay. I don't like the usage of etc. It's not academic. And the thing is, I understand that your list isn't every single possible type of information that's provided. So you don't need to state every example you can think of. So provide information about things such as, we do need information when I change it this way, things such as crime, weather, sports, etc. But we don't want etc. We just want to finish our list. So I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to remove etc. So what we have here is a list of the types of things, the types of information, and the reader knows this isn't every single possible type of information. It's just examples to help me understand. So remove etc. and just stop, 2 or 3 examples and stop the sentence. This information can help you to make important decisions too. That's a bit vague. What important decisions can I make? And it's not really related to being updated. So focus more on the main idea. And if you're talking about the outcome, make it more specific. So then we move to the second advantage. So this is how I want the essay structured. That's right. And let me just remind myself what that was. And learn a language. Okay. The further advantage of this is to learn a new language. Good. Many people can learn foreign languages through TV shows that have dialogues in other languages. These generally have subtitles so people can learn pronunciation, grammar, and reading through these shows. Many people in India, for example, learn English by watching American TV series such as Friends. Honestly, like the idea itself is very, very well developed. But the problem is none of the development is actually relevant to the question. So the development is relevant to the main idea and it's developed very well. But because Amrutta did not check if the main idea was relevant, none of it helps with the task achievement score. So this, if Amrutta had some way said that, if you only watch like 1 hour, if you only watch TV for 1 hour a day, it's not going to help with your language improvement. But if you spend the majority of your free time doing that, it really does help with your language improvement. So if Rutta had like cornered the idea in that way and said that it's only this is only relevant if you're spending most of your free time watching TV. But here it's just about watching TV, not about doing it for most of your free time. So unfortunately, it's not in the context of the question and it's not going to help with the task achievement score. So I'm sure that's quite disappointing considering it's so well written. Also, Friends, it's just the first letter that will be capitalized. Name of the TV show. Okay, so let me go back and see if anyone has any other questions before we look at the next paragraph. Okay, Sharon Preet. Respected sir, hi from India. Hi, Sharon Preet. I've doubt that it is compulsory to put our idea in introduction, like she gave 4 ideas, updated, learn language, obesity. Is it compulsory? It's a very good way to tie your answer together. So for coherence and cohesion, what you're doing is you're connecting the paragraphs with one another, you're connecting the sentences with one another, you're logically leading from one to the next. So it is, if you're looking for a high score, it is very beneficial for your coherence and cohesion score. If you need like a band 6 or lower, I see like a lot of students come to me and they have this like pre-learned outline statement. I will discuss the advantages and disadvantages of this scenario and go into more detail in the rest of my essay. So a lot of students will have a sentence, an outline sentence like that, where they've learned it before the test. They come in, they put it into their essay. Doesn't matter what the question is about. A sentence like that doesn't help to tie your essay together. An outline statement like that does not show your ability with grammar and vocab. The examiner will see it for what it is. The examiner will see that you've learned the sentence and you were going to use it no matter what. So any of the good vocab or grammar in an outline statement that you've learned in advance will not help with your vocab or your grammar score. So really, your question is it compulsory? The answer is no, it's not compulsory. But if you need a high score, then it's what you should do. So there's nothing in the IELTS band descriptors that says you have to do it exactly that way. But for a high score, it's advisable. It's very advisable. And the thing is, you have to generate your ideas anyway. So you're just prolonging the inevitable. If you're writing that sentence because you don't know what you're going to say yet, if you're writing an outline statement without the main ideas because you don't know what you're going to say yet, then you still have to decide what to say at some point. So deciding what to say first, it's not going to be a problem to include it in the outline statement then. I think I've answered your question, but let me know if I haven't. I can give you more details. Colwant, if I have explained my ideas well in a body paragraph, do I really need to give examples? No. And it's not about how well, it's about how much development. And it's really about how long your paragraph is. So when there are two main ideas, it's generally easiest to explain and give an example. When there are four main ideas, like we're looking here, there tends not to be time for an explanation and an example. So they're both development. They're both ways of developing an idea. So you might have some of your main ideas with an explanation, some of them with an example. It doesn't matter, because with four main ideas, you only have time for a small amount of development. So it's really, you're only looking at like 1-2 sentences of development for each idea. So no, an example is not completely necessary, and you probably won't have time if you've already included an explanation. Hi Sarwa, good to see you here. Hi Kamal, I am very well, thank you. Hope you're doing good too. Sharmpreet, no problem. So I've answered your question. Good. Okay. So I'm sure Amrata is disappointed with that, but that's a very valuable lesson to learn. And what we've seen so far is that Amrata has the language ability for a good score, but the task achievement score is going to stop Amrata from getting the score. I don't know what score Amrata needs, but it's going to drag down the score. Compared to the language ability that Amrata has, they're not going to get a score that reflects that language ability. Okay, so let's get back into it. The next paragraph is the paragraph focusing on disadvantages, and we need to look at how it makes people lazy and how it can lead to obesity. Okay. The other side of this is that many people can get lazy. This is because when people start watching TV, TV shows continue one after the other, and people do not feel like switching off the TV and completing important work. As a result, they try to avoid completing their important work and choose to continue watching. Again, actually very, very well written. And if the question was about the disadvantages of TV, this is very good. But it's not, so it's irrelevant. This is because other people start watching TV. So then this is an explanation of people spending most of their time watching TV, but that's what the question was about in the first place. So it's clear Amrata really didn't analyze the question carefully enough, and definitely didn't refer to the question, to the context of the question when generating the main ideas. So it's pretty much the first thing you're going to do is analyze the question. And Amrata has made a mistake in that very first step, and you can see the consequences just lead throughout the whole essay, and there's no real recovering from that. Once you've misanalyzed the question, incorrectly analyzed the question, this is what happens. So it's very, very important, and you can see that here. The other major disadvantage is that people lead to obesity. No, so it's not people lead to obesity, it's that It leads to obesity. So the watching of television leads to obesity, not people lead to obesity. So let's just change, is that it leads to obesity. That was a little bit unclear. That was actually the biggest grammar mistake that we've seen so far. This was the first one that was a little bit confusing. The other ones that I've marked here, I could understand no problem. It didn't even take, a second for me to process what the information was. So those mistakes were pretty insignificant, but this one was actually confusing. So that was the biggest mistake so far. People become fat as they spend their only free time watching TV shows rather than doing physical activities which can keep them healthy and fit. Okay, and this one is actually about watching TV too much. So this isn't just about, watching TV for an hour a day. This is about never doing anything else. You're spending all your time watching TV. You're getting fat. You're not doing exercise. So this main idea actually is relevant, but it's the only part of the essay that is relevant to the question. But again, like I said, Amrata has the language ability to get a good score. It's not going to be very difficult for Amrata to overcome this problem, but they do indeed need to do that before they would get this score, before they would get a good score. Okay. Kulwant, can we write two advantages as a topic sentence, then later develop each advantage within a paragraph? You can. It makes the essay quite long, and there's more repetition than is necessary. It takes more time. So technically, yes, it is possible, but it is not the easiest way to do it. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing it except for the time constraints. So if there wasn't a 40-minute time limit, this would be more reasonable, but there still is a bit more repetition because you introduce both ideas in the topic sentence, then you talk about one, and then you have to introduce the second one again and then talk about that. So there's a bit more back and forth. It's not as seamless. It's not as linear a process. Okay. So then then the conclusion. And what I want in the conclusion is the four main ideas again, and I want it to be clear what the question was about. So in conclusion, the advantages of watching TV shows in their free time. Now, this is a grammar mistake. What's the subject? The subject is the advantages of watching TV shows. Oh no, the advantages of watching, no, sorry, this whole thing is the subject. But it doesn't make sense because we're talking about the advantages of watching TV shows and now we're talking about they. So it's the pronoun that's unclear. So the advantages of people watching TV shows in their free time, now it's clear who they are. It's the people. But there was no people mentioned, so that wasn't clear beforehand. So that one there is a little bit confusing as well. Okay, that people can be updated with the events happening around the world, and also they can learn a foreign language. In contrast, the disadvantages are that they become lazy and can lead, so again, and it can lead to obesity because it's not they, it's not that the people can lead to obesity, it's that the watching TV can lead to obesity. But the other thing then is that this is not what the question was about, watching TV shows. And really, if you've been watching from the start, you'll remember that I noticed this in the introduction. It seemed from the second sentence that Amrata had not analyzed the question correctly. So immediately when I saw this, I had the feeling that the essay was going to be about watching TV, not people spending the majority of their time watching TV. So it's really just that one big mistake. Okay, so in relation to the other scores, coherence and cohesion is a band 7. Very well laid out, good use of cohesive devices, The paragraphs are all logically organized. Everything is in its place. It's really these two mistakes were the main issues with coherence and cohesion. Lovely range of vocab, few mistakes pointed out, a very good level of accuracy besides the mistakes. And then as well, grammar is pretty much the same. Not many mistakes at all. But too many for a band 8. So we're looking at a band 7 for vocab and a band 7 for coherence. Sorry, let me start that again. We're looking at band 5 for task achievement, 7 for coherence and cohesion, 7 for vocab, 7 for grammar. So what that means is and 6.5. So probably not the score. If Amruta's needs a band 6.5, that's great. If Amruta needs a higher score than that, which most of my students are aiming for higher than 6.5, most of my students are aiming for 7, 7.5, 8. This is not a long journey to a band 7. So if it was vocab at a band 6, that takes more time to improve. Grammar at a band 6, that takes less time than grammar. Excuse me, grammar at a band 6 takes less time than vocab to improve. But with task achievement, it's just about overcoming this one mistake. So it's not going to take a lot of work. It's just that Amrata really needs to focus on the question more carefully. So one big mistake at the beginning kind of messed up the score throughout. Okay, let's see if anyone has any questions here. Can we use TV again and again? Would it not affect the range of vocab? Like if we wrote this essay, I would write TV as television and nothing more than that. Yeah, I don't know any other synonyms. You'd be pushing yourself. So use TV sometimes, television sometimes. But when you're talking about a noun, like talking about an object that doesn't have more than one word to describe it, you'll just have to use the same one over and over. Ayush, free time, extra time. No, leisure time and free time are the same. Idle time is time doing nothing. Off time, not the same. Extra time is more if you're offering to do something for someone. Like if we're at work together and you're busy and I say like, I have some extra time, I can help you. So it would be a different context. So free time and leisure time, it would be more accurate in the context of what we've just looked at. As soon as possible after this live class. Okay, no problem, Kulwant. Exposing on screen is right instead of TV. No. Oh, so you're talking like exposure to screen, like screen time. But that's different. Screen time isn't necessarily watching TV. It could be, on your phone, on the internet, on your computer. It could be playing video games, whatever else people do when they're looking at a screen. Whereas TV is specifically, watching TV shows or maybe watching a movie on TV. So no, that wouldn't work. Okay. Let me first do the speaking competition. Let me choose the winner for that. Kulwant was talking about earlier on. So again, I made a post in Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. Thursday last week, I think it was. And what I said was, and just write your name down and I'll choose a winner for a speaking test. Okay, so let me just get it organized here. So I have all the names here. If you entered, you should see your name on the list here. And again, we'll just... Okay, so there's all the entrants, and let's find the winner for this. Okay, I'm just going to write this down quickly as a reminder for myself. Gurjant Sandhu, congratulations. So Gurjant, I will be in contact with you shortly and we'll arrange a time for your speaking test. Also, like I said earlier on, those of you who have just joined me recently, if you haven't completed this complete task 2 guide, I would highly recommend that. I have a task 2 live stream on YouTube and Facebook tomorrow. So that's where in this lesson, in this live stream, we just focused on Amruta's answer. Tomorrow's live stream, I'll post a question live and everybody will get involved, share their ideas, and I'll give you feedback on any mistakes that you're making. So it won't be a full correction for any individual, but it will be lots of feedback for lots of individuals. So make sure to complete the task 2 guide and get involved in the live stream tomorrow. On Friday, I have a live stream for my subscribers. So that's the one that I do on Zoom, my group classes on Zoom. If you're not already involved in that, and I have a new platform, so the schedule is really easy to navigate nowadays. I have, I think, something like 20 more lessons coming up scheduled on that. So you can just click on that link there, free live feedback lessons. And if you want a one-on-one essay correction, like the one I just did for Amruta, I have that service available as well. And let me show you the question for the essay correction competition for next week. And here it is. So this is the question for next Wednesday. So write an answer to this. You can post it in this video in Facebook or YouTube. I'll post this question on Sunday as a reminder. So you'll see that post. You can post your answers anywhere. I'll find it. So the question is this. In many countries, governments spend large sums of money on decorations such as lighting and fireworks to celebrate national holidays. Why is this the case? What are the benefits for the citizens? So that is the question for next week's competition. And I believe that's everything that I needed to communicate with you all. Yes, that's it. Okay, so let me see. Does anyone have any other questions? Free time, spare time? Yes, lucky, correct. That would work. That's fine. Your friend is Gurjant Sandhu. Very good. Good to hear. So that's it for today. I will see you. Oh, one more thing. I forgot. I was talking about task 2, the live feedback lesson for task 2. So that the group lessons on Zoom. That's on Friday. But today, if you're doing general training IELTS, I have a task 1 live feedback lesson today. So if you've not already registered, click the link, register, and that is another about 4.5 hours. So what I'm going to do from now on is with my live feedback lessons, the first Wednesday of every month will be general training task 1, and the other Wednesdays, so the rest of the month, will be academic task 1. So I've reintroduced general training because it wasn't in demand, but now people are becoming more interested in getting general training task 1 help. So get involved. If you haven't already, sign up and I will see you later today. And of course, task 2 is the same for academic and general. So you'll all be able to join my live stream tomorrow, my task 2 live feedback lesson on Friday. Cutie, congratulations. Hello and good afternoon from the Philippines. Hey, Cutie. Kulwant, that was your friend. Okay, so that seems like we're all done. I'll talk to you in the next live stream or in the lesson later today, and take care of yourselves until I see you next time.